There are times I see certain things, certain good things, and I often wonder, happen around this time, and I often ask myself, do these people know I have a birthday coming up? but yeah, my uh, this is definitely one of them. Uh, Yesterday, it was announced hockey is back on ESPN, and I'm not talking about just ESPN Plus. I'm talking about the actual network. A 7-year deal was signed between the NHL and ESPN yesterday. And now there were rumors about this for a while, but I first officially learned about it from the Hockey Guy's YouTube channel. I watch his videos a lot. And the deal is ABC and ESPN will have 4 of the next 7 Stanley Cup finals between 2022 and 2028. ESPN and ABC will have one conference final each year, so I guess they're gonna do like it's gonna be like the rest of the other leagues where one network has one conference and the other, if it's still in the NBC group without the NBC Sports Network, of course, will have the other. That's how it goes. 25 regular season games on ABC or ESPN, and of course ESPN Plus will stream more than 1,100 games, and ESPN Plus and Hulu will exclusively stream 75 national ones. So the NHL and ESPN is back. Now, why am I doing a video about this? Well, it's simple. I've followed hockey since around the age of 8, but I didn't really start really watching till I got cable because a lot of hockey was on cable. And one era I treasure the most as a hockey fan is that time when ESPN aired NHL games and later ABC. Of course, ABC aired them in much earlier years during my childhood. But like I said, I wasn't that avid of a watcher at the time, and I'll go into more depth into that later in a later video. But when I first got cable, full cable, and I remember the exact date too, April 2nd, 1997. It was a Wednesday, and that's when I started really watching hockey on television because I had the cable, and the regional sports networks were part of it too, and ESPN was airing pretty much. ESPN was the Stanley Cup Finals channel, Stanley Cup playoffs and finals channel, and I watched as this '97 Detroit beat Philly to win that cup. Um, I treasure that era a lot because I love everything. I love everything about ESPN, NHL aired ESPN aired on ESPN, and of course later ABC got returned to the act too in 2000. Of course, I was a big fan of Gary Thorne. Gary Thorne, of course, he was to ESPN ABC's hockey coverage what Doc Emmerich was for years to NBC's coverage until his retirement in last year. And and I remember being an Avalanche fan, been one since since Nordique's days. Um, the Avalanche were on a lot because we were this really good team. We had won a cup in '96, and and the Avs were this big one of the upper echelon teams. Big powerhouse was the Avalanche, Detroit, Dallas, St. Louis, the Penguins, and Philly were pretty good. So, and of course, ESPN aired games pretty much almost every day. They had the market on Wednesday night hockey, and to this day, I just remember enjoying watching the NHL on ESPN during my junior high years, into my early high school years, and I watched those playoff games, those finals on ESPN, and that includes the disappointments against Dallas. And another thing I loved was this. God, I missed that theme. We'll all get to hear that theme again in later years, starting I think next season. But then in 2000, ABC got back to it because ABC and ESPN were like this, and that gave us this theme. You'll have to you have to forgive me if I get a little bit emotional, because I watched a lot of good finals on ABC. I did. Well, not I say a lot, but ABC during that era aired the last 5 finals from before that lockout, 2000 through 2004. And the first one they aired was that crazy one in 2000. First off, I think, if I recall, ABC aired the other heartbreak. Poor Ray Borg hitting the post in Game 7, May 27, 2000. The same day that a hockey icon, the Rocket, Maurice Richard, one of the greatest goal scorers of all time, passed away. It was that day. And of course, they aired the 2000 final, which saw the Devils beat the then defending Cup champion Dallas Stars in that double overtime goal. So the following year, we had to show Dallas and Detroit, because Jersey beat them too. We had to show them how to beat the Devils, and ABC aired this final. Well, and including Game 7, June 9, 2001. I remember this so vividly. Of course, I've mentioned many times. Tanguay scores one in the first, scores another in the second. Sakic puts one in and fakes out Stevens, makes it 3-0, and it was 3-1 after second period. But that's all what was needed. And on that day, we won the cup. We got Ray Bork, his Stanley Cup. That was one of the great moments that I've ever seen. That I remember as an Avalanche fan, just being very elated and emotional by the time it was 2-0, because I knew we had it. I knew we had it. It had been 5 years, which isn't really that long in any sport. But we went through back-to-back conference finals, Game 7 heartbreaks against Dallas. And we finally won a Game 7 during that run against LA to get there. And we were in another one. We had to fight to get to that one, because we were down 3-2 after losing at home. And we shut them out. We shut out the Devils on their ice. And we went back home and we took care of it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just, as an Avalanche fan, that day just brings back such good memories to me. Watching us hoist that cup and watching Sakic hand that cup to Ray Bork. It was a memorable moment. I had chills. Even when I woke up the following morning, I had chills. And that's part of why I remember the NHL ABC so well, because of that final. And we got 3 more great finals after that one, including 2003. Who can forget 03? It was kind of personal to me because, well, I'm not a Ducks fan, but I live in the OC. And when the Ducks made the Stanley Cup final, that was a big thing. Well, excuse me, the Mighty Ducks, I should say. When the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim made it all the way to the Stanley Cup final, oh my goodness. And I'll never forget, the Stanley Cup final was actually here. It was. I remember my mom took me to the nearby mall to see it on display. It was at a Sears, and there it was. It was the closest I've ever been to actually look at the Stanley Cup, and it took me a lot of restraint. It took me a lot of restraint to do like Wade's World and go, we're not worthy, we're not worthy. But yeah, that was a great final. 7 games. The home team won every game, and it had that great moment in Game 6 where Paul Kreider was knocked out, and then he comes back and scores, and we get Gary Thorne's soundbite off the floor, on the board. Oh, man. So that was a good final. I was pulling for the Ducks because I still didn't like New Jersey, but New Jersey ended up winning it. And the last one was Tampa Bay and Calgary. And that was a good final. Tampa Bay won their first cup. Of course, they're the defending champions now. Yeah, Tampa Bay had, I think they had Hobby Booger, the Boogan Wall, as he was called. So game seven of that final was the last hockey game to air on ABC until this upcoming season. And now that I think about it, it's funny because next season is when the Seattle Kraken debut. I wonder how many Seattle Kraken games is ESPN gonna air. But I'm just so happy about this. ESPN, the NHL and ESPN and ABC era, it was a fun era for me. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed seeing those games on ESPN and ABC, seeing the playoff games. The 5 overtime game was on ESPN, the game between Pittsburgh and Philly back in 2000. That long marathon that started at around 4 o'clock local time here and ended at 11:30. And I watched a lot of good stuff, good hockey games on ESPN and ABC. And the NHL hasn't changed one bit since then. It's the only league that really hasn't. So I'm definitely going to enjoy this new era, the rebirth of the NHL on ESPN and ABC. And so that's what I want to talk about. My memories about watching the NHL on ESPN and ABC, and it's about time they did this because one thing I hated when the NHL came back for that lockout is ESPN basically said, "Well, we won't be needing hockey anymore." And they basically pretended that hockey really didn't exist. They didn't really exist because they spent years not really talking about it. And now with ESPN Plus airing games for the last few years, they're kind of talking about it a little bit, and now it's back. I only hope Gary Thorne comes with it, but I don't know. I'm not expecting Gary Thorne to do games again. Steve Levy, Darren Pang, probably. I'm pretty sure Panger's gonna be back in the fray at ESPN. Yeah, that was a great group of announcers. Steve Levy, Darren Pang, Dave Strader, God rest his soul, he was part of it. Doc was part of it. Of course, he became a bigger name because he's always a big name anyway. But he became the voice when he joined NBC. So anyway, that's my thoughts about it. I'll be back next time I talk hockey again. I'll recap everything that's happened this month. So it'll be a few weeks. In the meantime, I'll leave you with this.